Welcome to Day One Patch Podcast, episode 185.
Yes. 186.
185.
It is 185, yeah. Just throwing you off by one. I was going to make a pun, but it didn't make sense at all, so I'm just going to...
All right. Not too many stories this week. Top stories include PS4 and Xbox One crossplay went live for a little bit on Fortnite.
Of all the games.
I know.
Of all the games.
Has since been corrected, so we'll talk about that and all the implications there. Also, a response from Phil Spencer, so you can hear that later in the show. Valve is addressing Steam's review bombing issue. If you don't know what review bombing is, it's when someone doesn't like a game and they get all their buddies to go on and like freaking just rate a game bad, just for the hell of it.
Oh yeah.
Not because the game's actually bad, but just because they don't like someone involved or whatever. So I guess Steam's going to be trying to fix that. We got Pokemon Go Equinox event starting soon. And actually starting today, as we record this podcast, it started this day. And we have a Query Corner question, which involves MMOs and endgame content.
You missed the Division story there, good sir.
I said that can be part of your What's New.
Oh, that's a part of my What's New.
Yeah.
Look at this guy. I'm being my story is being classified under... I guess it's not really a worse classification.
Every segment is of equal value here at Day One Patch Podcast.
Yeah, so I guess I don't really know what I'm bitching about, so I'm just gonna start.
All right,
talking.
Matt. What's new?
Yeah, playing Destiny 2.
You wanted to talk about the Division, and then just yeah.
Playing some for starters, playing some Destiny 2.
Yeah, we bought Destiny 2. We beat the game already. We're doing the end game stuff.
You guys did not seem to enjoy, and we're to be clear, it was Adriano and yourself and myself that are playing.
Yes.
And
Adriano's dead, by the way.
Adriano's dead. Yeah, I did a drive by. He kept trying to steal this little stool here.
Oh yeah, it was a fight over the stool. Yeah.
So I had to kill him. But anyway, but yeah.
We complained about what?
You guys didn't seem to like the story, and I've said that while we were playing. You guys seem very lackluster-esque about the story.
Trying not to spoil anything, but here's the thing.
Well, you can jump into spoilers if you do the alert.
The first game, there was no story. There was a story, but it wasn't visually brought to the player.
The Grimoire card system and like very few cutscenes.
A lot of it was there for the people who cared like deeply enough to actually go and find it. But if you just play the game, it's very loosely delivered. There's a few random cutscenes that don't make anything. Everyone's talking cryptically.
Yeah.
The voice of the traveler was like, I could tell you about this amazing thing, but that's a story for another time.
And it's like, well, there that goes, I guess.
You know? So that was one of the big complaints about the first game. And everyone pretty much had that complaint, really. Fine game. I enjoyed it a lot.
Right.
I had a lot of fun playing it. I think, did Aaron like it? We played with Aaron, right?
I don't think he did, but he jumped in really late. Like, I'm pretty sure the Taken King was out. We didn't have it. And, like, he just got the base game, too. And then we played through the base game. And, like, Aaron's pretty, like, into story, I think.
Yeah.
And as we just said.
Yeah. So, anyway, we move on to the second game. Clearly, they took that criticism and tried to implement that into their second game. But what happened was they just had a pretty standard story.
The thing is, though, is, like... I kind of expected a standard story, and I liked. I guess
because the whole point of Destiny is not really the story. That's just there to give you purpose in the universe. But it's really just about running your missions, gearing up your character, finding exotics. You know,
that's the thing is
doing those great big challenges like we failed at last time.
The great big challenges we failed at.
The one strike we played, we lost.
The
strike.
The Nightfall.
The Nightfall, yeah.
Oh, God, that was terrible. But some technical problems, right, when we figured out how to do it properly. But anyway, slight spoilers, but the, like, almost Bond villain-esque Gaul was cool. Like, I really liked that. Like, I don't want to jump too much into that if you're trying to avoid spoilers yourself. Yeah. But it was... For that universe, that's basically like the Bond villain of that universe, and it was pretty cool. And the fact that like I knew we did a mission, and like I knew what I was doing. I wasn't just like jumping onto Mars and being like, oh, these big guys in these big suits are the Cabal. And that's all I learned. You know what I mean? It was like, okay, yeah. Well, okay, I guess that's it then. But I really enjoy the game. There's like quite a bit of like milestones and stuff like that, and we haven't done everything. We haven't tried the raid. We've tried the Nightfall. We haven't tried there's like Trials of the Nine or something like that, which is like a P event, I think, which
That's
is held
new
every,
though, right?
well, it's held every weekend. It's like a timed event thing. I'm not really sure like what you get from it or anything. Like I said, I haven't done it yet.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm having fun, like leveling up my characters and doing the strikes and stuff. The strikes seem to be more like they roll. Like we got Fogoth in the first game like 4 or 5 times in a row, and I haven't really had that much per se. I've had like the same one in a row if I've like gone offline.
How many strikes are there?
That's a good question. As I was about
If
to
there's
ask
more
that too.
strikes, then I mean you're obviously going to get fewer repeats.
It's a good question. I don't really remember that many different strikes. I can only really remember 3, but like I haven't exactly like ran like 50 of them or anything.
Yeah.
So like I'm not 100% on that. But even the strikes are more action packed and they seem a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
And then the running around the world. Actually, I discovered this last night. So I was like ripping around, just like listening to a podcast, running around Titan, I think it is. And there's like these things called lost sectors. And usually they're in like a hidden cave or something like that. So you go down in there and you like go into this like little hidden area. And there's like a boss or a couple bosses in there.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you kill them, you get like a cache code and you like open a chest. And I've been getting pretty good drops from that. So like that's pretty cool. Like they disappear off the map when you're done. I don't know whether they'll reset on like the reset of each week. I'm not sure, but that's pretty cool to have. Like the other game had like, oh, you can do a patrol.
Mm-hmm.
Like the first game was like, oh, you jump into a patrol of the Cosmodrome, and then you can do like the patrol missions, and that's it. This has like patrol missions, adventures. They have quests, and then they have like the chests, and then they have these caches as well.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's my cap of Destiny 2.
I do like the game, but another complaint I have is this just feels like a massive expansion because all the interfaces are the same, your gear layout's the same gear slots even. Do you know what I mean? Your characters all look the same as the first game. They didn't even like design new looking characters. So like the character creation is exactly the same almost.
Well, see, there's actually something with that though. I find is not necessarily with the UI, but the whole character thing is. To me, it looks like what they're trying to do, and this is my opinion, they didn't actually say this, that there's like your 3 main people. There's like Zavala, Ikora, and Cade, right?
Mm-hmm.
Those like that's your Warlock and your Titan and your like head people, right?
Hunter.
And your Hunter. Yeah, I forgot the Hunter, yeah. So those are like your head of the 3 classes. And so like almost like your mentors, like if you're a Titan, Zavala is your mentor kind of thing. The thing is that what it almost seems like to me is in this game you don't have a voice. And I kind of like, I tested that too. This game's also supposed to be about, like become legend or whatever. I kind of thought that it was supposed to be like your legend has grown to the point in which you're the 4th. And that's why you don't talk because it's supposed to be you as the player. Because
I get that, yeah.
And I'm going to give a spoiler here as a spoiler alert. Because when all the Guardians lose their light, you are the only one that's supposed to have it back. Like you, the individual.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's what it's supposed to be like. Now, the only thing I don't like about that is the fact that, first of all, I think you should have a voice. Like, it's weird that you just suddenly lose your voice. Mm-hmm. And the legend thing that they constantly mention. No, actually, I shouldn't even say they constantly mention it. They, like, hint at it, but they, like, mention it in, like, the ads and stuff. It's like, but, like, maybe we should play up this legend stuff. Mm-hmm. What did we get for our quote-unquote legend in the first game? We got a couple of slides.
Right.
Like when you first start the game, it'll like tell you like, oh, you defeated this. It's like your accomplishments, your big ones of the first game. But like that's your legend, and it's like the whole other game's like slogan was "Become Legend," and like this was like, and I never played the DLC of the other game, but like the only thing I got was a couple of slides, and we played through the whole base game.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Yeah. I don't know.
Right. Like, maybe we should have a legend mechanic or something. I don't know. I don't know. Like, they don't have it in there. I don't know. I don't know. It's weird.
I don't know. I don't know like how normal MMOs have sequels. Do they keep everything as similar as possible because people expect that? Do you know what I mean?
It's a good question. I mean, a good comparison would probably be Guild Wars 2. I never played Guild Wars 2, but I'm pretty sure Guild Wars 2 is a lot different from what I've heard. Mm-hmm. So...
I don't know. It just feels so much. It's good. It's a good thing too in a way because Destiny 1 I did like that Destiny 2 is pretty much identical.
Yeah.
In terms of just the basics of everything. I guess that's a good thing, but I was expecting a more different game than what I got. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was expecting to come in and have to relearn everything, but then I just knew everything, and that was fun.
The thing is,
Which
I guess,
is good and bad, you know.
you're kind of expecting a grind fest, or at least I was
Yeah.
when I came into Destiny 2, and it kind of seems like that.
Although I do feel like I'm being rewarded a lot better.
Yes.
I don't feel like I'm just like, oh, I ran this big thing and got nothing for my hour that I spent playing the game. You know?
Yeah, the
I at least come away with something.
yeah, for sure. Like the fact that there's more rewards and more like reputation marks and like the different materials you cash in and stuff like that's cool. And I really like the bright engram system.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to get too much into the loot just because that's part of my query corner, but the bright engram system is like the vision system where like when you're max level, you can continually fill up your XP bar, and then you like when you quote unquote level up again, all you're doing is like earning a bright engram, and then it resets and you can earn another one.
I feel like I'm earning those faster than the old game too.
Oh yeah, I don't even remember doing that.
You did level up like your Cryptarch and stuff. Do you remember that?
I remember that.
Yeah, but that would take forever to fill up that.
That was stupid.
But now you can go to the weaponsmith and you can like trade in your parts.
Yeah,
and you level him up, and he'll give you like a legendary once you level up.
Absolutely, yeah.
So that's I think that's great.
And you even like you're not leveling up, but you're cashing in like tokens you get on the planets. So when you're like patrolling, you can cash in those tokens, and so like there's a lot more. Like I mean, there's similar activities. Like it's still an MMO, but like it's like I'm gonna go free roam, and there's like instead of doing one thing, there's like 5 things for you to do.
Yeah, and I like PvP too. I like PvP in the first game.
PvP is fun. Yeah,
it was fun. It's fun in this one as well.
I think they need to introduce harder strikes. Strikes are they're like, I mean, we die sometimes, and the nightfalls are difficult.
This was weird. Like last time, you could choose like a difficulty, right?
Yes.
And now is that even on there?
If I vaguely remember this, and I don't know whether I'm remembering correctly, I think that they added the difficulties in a patch to Division 1 or to Destiny 2.
I know they added something like that. I know what you're talking about.
So in Destiny 2, you have like your nightfall. There's like some weird beta nightfall, which I think is matchmaking for a nightfall. And then you have like your regular strikes. In Destiny 1, you have like your various levels of strike, and then I think there's nightfall as well. But like those various levels, I think were added. I think. So hopefully, it's just because like, not that I want to be like beaten up by the game, but like it's cool to like beat a really hard boss and be like Jesus, and then get like a really good reward or something, you know.
Yep. I think that's all I've been doing on PlayStation 2. Is well, not PlayStation 2, but PlayStation as well. Just Destiny. I can't think of anything else I've done.
We've been playing that quite a bit.
Yeah. I finally got all my comics in order. Christ.
You got a big box here, right?
I was probably like 3 or 4 months behind on my Star Wars comics.
Jesus.
And what happens is they had a crossover event during that period.
Right.
And so I was completely lost as to where I was in the story and what I needed to read when. And I was missing some in my collection. I'm still missing some. I got a list now of ones I got to hunt down and find. And it was a big mess. But now I have a pull box at Big B. And so every Star Wars comic that comes in, they pick it out of their stock and put it into my file at their store. And I come in and just pick it up. And so I essentially, as long as they're doing their job, I won't miss an issue.
Do you get the emails?
Mm-hmm.
The emails are super nice. Like it tells you exactly what they pulled.
Yeah.
And like what's really cool is like it's a free membership or whatever.
That's what's crazy about it, actually.
I mean, there's a permaban if you don't pick up within a month or something. The guy explained to me like it's basically like more or less you're supposed to come and clear your pull box every 4 weeks at least. And if you can't, you can call.
Yes.
Right? Like that's fine. Like it's not that cutthroat.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like if you're one of those people that just like, oh, I want, I don't know, all the Spider-Mans, and then you just like have this huge pull box, it's like filling up and there's nothing there, then it's like, well. The only thing I have to clarify is at the moment I'm only getting $20.99, like Spider-Man $20.99, and
Stargate stuff.
Stargate, anything Stargate that comes out like pulled.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think I'm gonna have. Sometimes I think there's gonna be more than a month spread, so I don't know whether I have to call. But like, I mean, whatever. I'll figure that out. I'll call them once.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Like there might be a month where no comics of yours have come out.
Correct. Yeah, because I don't really want to get into like a million. Like I'll when I go in there and I see like a number one of like a series that I'm kind of interested in, but I'm not going to read or anything. Mm-hmm. I'll pick that up just because it's number one. But then I'm not gonna go crazy.
What's crazy though, it's technically a free subscription service. You're essentially committing to buy the comics though, right? that's guaranteed money for them essentially.
Yes, yeah.
But they give you the sleeves and like plastic covers, I guess, for free, which are normally 25 cents.
Oh, I didn't. That's why the guy never asked me.
Yeah, you just get those for free as a subscriber, and you get 10% off of the long boxes.
Oh,
so
wow.
it's to store their comics in.
That's cool.
Yeah, and this one, I have the biggest box.
Yeah, that's a really like super long.
It's almost full
box.
of Star Wars comics, and it's about like 100 pounds. It's ridiculously heavy.
How much was the box? Like, I mean, it's just cardboard.
How much did the box cost?
Yeah.
I can't remember. Like $10 maybe, something like that.
Oh, okay, so totally reasonable.
Yeah, but you get 10% off with the subscription. So
I didn't even know the subscription gave you that type of stuff.
Yeah, I never did it for the longest time. I don't know why I didn't do it. I was just maybe too shy to ask. But
Well, it could have been one of those things too, where it's like, did you know it had those bonuses?
not directly, no.
See, that's the thing. I thought it was just a pull box, and I
Yeah.
was like, well, I don't want to be committed.
Yeah.
But if I get an email, then I'll remember.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's great.
That's pretty. Yeah, it's
I'm
pretty
happy
awesome.
with it. So yeah, I'm getting caught up now on my Star Wars comics. I actually read them too fast. I'm going on vacation next week, and I could have had all these comics to read during vacation.
You just
but
like rip through them.
I plowed through them before, yeah. But anyway, I got some books to read as well. But
There
that's
you go.
it for me. On to our top stories. First story of the week: PS4 and Xbox One had crossplay activated on Fortnite for a while. Now, the developer says that this has been corrected and that it was just a glitch on their end. But what's amazing is that how easy it is for them to just have crossplay between PS4 and Xbox One.
Yeah, they just did it. Apparently,
It was literally just a glitch that happened on their system. Apparently, I wouldn't be surprised if someone accidentally, like,
click.
yeah, and then
How was it discovered? Do you know?
yeah, I do. There was a guy on PS4.
Right.
His name was Precision.
Okay. That's
Okay,
his gamer tag or whatever you're
his
calling
PlayStation ID.
There you go. That's it.
And while he was on PS4 playing Fortnite, he saw someone else's, what he assumed was a PSN ID, but it had spaces in the name. And this eagle-eyed viewer or player knows that on PlayStation you can't have spaces in your gamer tag. And so he knew it was an Xbox One. I guess he, what did he do here? I think on NeoGAF he posted and then Reddit, and then they found out that this had happened.
That's cool.
That's funny, eh? Now here's the really funny part. Actually, is that the Phil Spencer, who is the head of Xbox division at Microsoft, he was asked on Twitter what he thought about this, and he said, "I would have liked to see them leave it on." Because as you may know, Xbox is trying to get crossplay going. They want to see crossplay support between PS4 and Xbox One.
Now, kind of off topic, but on topic.
Mm-hmm.
You know how you were saying it's because Microsoft's behind?
Yeah.
I came up with a theory this week
Okay.
that what if it's not because their Xbox is behind so much as they want Windows PCs to sell?
That is possible too, because
know what I mean?
right now PC players can play with PS4 players, and PC players can obviously play with Xbox One players
Yes.
in certain games.
But what I think what they're trying to do is they're trying to get people to buy like a half decent, because like your guys that are playing games are probably not buying like the Surface Pro. They're buying like a desktop or like a gaming laptop.
Yeah.
So like I bet you they're trying to get people to do that. Then they're trying to get people hooked into the Xbox ecosystem, like get your gamer tag set up, all that. Maybe even buy the games on that store, like the Xbox Marketplace or whatever they call it on the Windows Store.
Yeah.
Instead of Steam, and then maybe they can like, because what they'll do is they'll maybe like piggyback your game, your Windows 10 game, on the Xbox Live servers, which have crossplay, and then eventually they'll probably want to have social features go across.
Mm-hmm.
So then what it is just one big old gaming community, and Microsoft has two of the things in that gaming community. Nintendo has your Switch, PlayStation has your PlayStation 4, and Microsoft has your Xbox and your PCs. And the PCs is a freaking massive market.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, I don't feel like this whole Play Anywhere thing that Microsoft's on right now. I don't think they care where you buy the game. They just want you playing on their services, right? They want you to have an Xbox Live account, really.
Well, it does make the most sense, right? Like even when I signed into Xbox, like if there's an ad, because it's like I was talking to Adrian about this a while ago, was a platform ad, and I'm pretty sure this has actually been proven with like people doing testing too, but a platform ad sells me. if I'm on Xbox One and you're trying to advertise, bananas, I don't care. But if I'm on Xbox One, like I'm in there, but launch up Netflix, and I see, hey, $50 off our latest games, and like it's on platform, they're Xbox games. I'm like, oh, what the hell is that? And
you check it out.
Click on that ad,
Yeah.
just because I'm interested. So like, just being on the platform has a very high potential for them to make money.
Yeah.
So possibly even hook somebody if they're.
You know what I'd like to see from Microsoft is for them to build a gaming PC and sell it.
You know what actually is
Have it the Xbox PC or something like that.
And I haven't looked at the specs of this thing. The Surface Book with performance base, I'm pretty sure can game okay, because at the presentation, and I haven't looked at the specs at all, to be fair, but the guy who was doing the Microsoft conference last time said that gamers love more FPS, and this brings it. This delivers it. So I'm wondering whether it can actually game okay. I don't know. I'd have to take a look. But like, if Microsoft can start getting, they have their streaming already from their Xbox Ones, they can start getting you streaming, and then maybe even, like natively playing a game on your Surface Book, they're fucking banking.
What they should have you do, though, is like if you buy a Surface Book or whatever gaming rig they make in the future, right? They should have you log into Xbox, though, to play games. Like you boot Windows, you go through the whole Windows startup process, and then there's an additional screen that says, "Hey, would you like to sign up for an Xbox Live account? It's free."
Oh, so it's more in your face than it is right now, is what you mean?
It's free, and then we also have this Live Gold subscription where you can get all these games for free. I think that would really increase their numbers of people who may be more casual than the hardcore PC gamers. You know
what? Actually, that's a good
then
point.
Sign up.
Is if they gave me free games on PC,
yeah.
And especially since PC is kind of where everyone plays indie games, like you could do let's be serious, the lackluster PlayStation Network free games are usually indie games, right? Because people want the AAAs. But like on the PC, like especially if guys are using the Surface Pro and stuff like that, like the lower end guys, they could play indie games, free games, and then if they start getting into gaming with that service and they're already paying for a subscription, they might buy an Xbox, and then they might stream it to that Surface Pro. Microsoft's then making 2 hardware sales and then all the software crap.
And what they should do is start making deals with the third-party publishers to have it like exclusive on Windows, like Xbox, for like a year or something.
If they start doing that, they're gonna kill this market. They're gonna kill it. Like it's gonna be like the old-fashioned days where you're in a market and IBM comes into it, and you're like, oh fuck, here we go.
Yeah.
And like you start fighting directly with IBM.
I mean, Steam needs a competitor too. Let's be honest here. They have a monopoly.
Yeah.
Origin isn't a really big threat to them, because really you only go there to play EA games. They do have other games on there, but no one really cares about those. They'll go back to Steam for those,
Yeah, yeah.
So I think Steam needs a legitimate threat to clean up their act a bit,
Yeah, Steam's like I don't know, I want to say arrogant, like very like, yeah, we're the king.
That's
like,
the problem. Yeah.
Yeah.
They need some healthy competition.
Yeah.
I think so. Microsoft is actually suited to do that.
They could do a real
and
big push.
I hope they are. I would buy a like an Xbox branded PC.
See, the thing is though, on a side note about that is, I find that a lot of the time when somebody like pushes a network like that, when they're like, look how integrated this is, I find that people kind of yawn it off. They just don't give a crap about it for some reason. Whereas I think like big networks like that do succeed are made because the people started asking for the features. So I'm wondering if Microsoft's trying to wait for people to be like, hey, why can't I do this? And they'll be like, oh, you want to do that? Okay.
Maybe, yeah.
And they already had the idea, but they were waiting,
Yeah. Speaking of Steam, we have a Valve story coming up next. Now, this has a lot of backstory to it, so we didn't cover this, but PewDiePie accidentally said a offensive word during one of his live streams while playing.
Yeah, I saw something about this on Twitter.
While playing PUBG.
Right.
He said the N-word.
Right.
This made a lot of people angry, obviously. PewDiePie has since apologized for it. He made a video apologizing for it. You can go watch it on his channel if you wish. But this made a developer angry. The developer is from the guys who made Firewatch, and he issued a DMCA takedown notice against all his Firewatch videos that PewDiePie's made. Now, I believe PewDiePie has taken down his Firewatch videos. Now, what happened? This developer got angry, right? And and said like PewDiePie, whatever, criticized PewDiePie. This made PewDiePie fans, I guess, angry at the developer.
Oh yeah, here we go.
And they all went and what's called review bombed Firewatch on Steam.
Oh shit.
And now Steam, this whole debacle has made Valve want to fix this problem because it's not really proper. Yes, you can have your differences with the developer, but that should not reflect the game. Your review is supposed to be about the quality of the game, not about the quality of the people who made it. Right?
Yes, yeah.
So I guess they're going to try to fix that. I don't know how they do that without actually like reviewing each review.
Well, here's a question though. Like I mean, Firewatch, like I haven't played it, but it seems like a quality game, right?
Yeah.
But like hypothetically, let's say like it wasn't the Firewatch dev. Let's say it was like, I don't know, some other dev that has terrible practices, and then like they get review bombed. I don't think anyone would be raising a finger to like try to fix this review bomb problem.
You're probably right.
And another thing too is like I don't even know if you'd call this review bombing, but like Fallout 4 is being attacked because of Creation Club or Creative Club?
Creation Club.
Creation
right?
Club. That like, microtransaction paid mod thing. So they're being attacked. Like apparently they went from, positive, recent reviews to mixed. So like I feel like Valve is like kind of has a system in there because like, for example, like Firewatch, I assume, has a positive. I haven't checked.
It had a positive.
Has a positive,
review, yeah.
but it usually will say like mostly positive, and then it'll be like recent, negative, or whatever. That I think that's the same for like Civ 6 and stuff like that. So like I mean, they kind of have like a bit of an immunity there because people will be like, oh, why was it positive? They'll compare it, and if they see like, oh, you made fun of PewDiePie, we'll be like, okay.
But
well,
I don't know how deep people go into the reviews. I think it's all face value most of the time.
I don't know about that because like when I go to a game and I'm like totally curious about it, especially like an early access game, I'll be like, oh, want to see what these people are bitching about.
I don't really trust user reviews because I think a lot of the times they are just gut reactions.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like if something pisses off someone once in the game, that's like a unique situation to them. They go and downvote it and get all angry in the comments. So
yeah.
I don't really trust people when they're in the heat of the moment reviewing a game. And it's always easier to review something negatively than it is to review something positively. There's more incentive to say I'm angry and I need to burn this energy off somewhere. So you go write a bad review. But if you enjoy the game, you're just like, oh, that's fun, and you move on to the next game.
Yeah.
So I generally don't look at reviews myself.
I mean, I will
Reviews,
if it's like a lot of, especially if it's a hardware product where people are like, oh, the thing wouldn't turn on.
There's definitely like value in there. If
If
there's
you
like
see
issues
like 20 people
yeah.
that say it doesn't turn on, I'm like, oh, there's a problem with this thing.
Yeah, for sure.
But I don't know, like how do you stop review bombing? And are they? Well, I guess they're not. I guess they're mad at the dev, not necessarily mad. I was gonna say, aren't they just mad? So then they have the right to write a negative review. But then,
how do you feel about the I forget where I encountered this, and I'm not sure if Steam does it or not actually. But you have to have downloaded or purchased the item to review it. You can't just go on there and write a review. Do you know if Steam does that at all?
Like the verified purchase system.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And even go so far as like Steam tracks how long you play the games.
I think it does have a verified purchase system then.
I would even say like see how long this person's played the game and put that into your decision of whether to put up their review or not.
Yeah, that's interesting. Like with the hours, essentially you are having a verified purchase program, essentially. Because like a good example of that being really helpful actually is Civ 6. Civ 6 at face value is really fun. But then you start getting into the problem of the AI is friggin' stupid and
like it was in every other game at the beginning.
Yeah.
I don't know why they must know that people buy the DLC.
But the thing is like the DLC is like the DLC in this case, like the deluxe edition, is like people are saying it's scumbaggy because it's like new nations and stuff. So
let's be honest here, though. We'll probably buy the DLC in 5 years when it's on the Steam summer sale for like 10 cents.
Probably, yeah. But it's interesting to see that, like like in the beginning, everyone was like, "Oh, this game's fun," I'm still learning it, and then you see guys with 1,500 hours say, like, "I've literally played the crap out of this game and it's not good." So,
I believe Steam had some comments, or Valve had some comments. Let me see if I can pull those up here.
I'm wondering if See, I was gonna again, like, kind of hitting a wall there. I was about to say like maybe Steam would, have an algorithm where it detects, there's a flood of these bad reviews. Let's give the developer an approval thing, but then they could just disapprove all negative comments, and that's not good.
No, yeah, because you need the negative ones if they're legitimate.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so Valve has said that review bombing is a problem because people are criticizing the game for reasons outside of the game itself. It might be that they're unhappy with something that the developer has said online, or about choices the developer has made in the Steam version of their games relative to other platforms, or simply that they don't like the developer's political convictions. Many of these out-of-game issues aren't very relevant when it comes to the value of the game itself, but some of them are real reasons why a player may be unhappy with their purchase. Yeah, that's essentially right. So now I will say, I don't want to bring up another debate, but I will say that price, I would say, falls under the same.
No. I know we've had this debate, like it'll never end.
Yeah.
But no. I see this is exactly why, and I'll just bring it into our channel. We do like some hardware reviews and accessories reviews here and there, and app reviews here and there as well. And in the past we have done, out of 5 out of 10, whatever. I actually prefer not to do that.
Yeah.
I prefer to say, like, hey, I like this, this, and this, and then I can say in that review, hey, I don't like the price. And then if I don't like give a full rating, someone can then be like, oh, don't like the price. Why? He'd go look at the price, and if he likes it, then whatever.
Yeah, I agree with that. That if you don't have a score, you can comment on the price.
Yeah.
What if you do want a score though? I think you should say that the score is not based on the price.
Well, in the same breath, you can say it is based on the price. Or like the price is being accounted into your.
As long as the reviewer makes it known whether they're including the price in their decision of that score.
See, this brings up a weird issue of like with this like Firewatch issue specifically, of if you have a dev, like I said, that has very bad practices, and you as a whatever like a media website like IGN or whatever, go and publish a positive review, people are going to be like knocking on your door saying like, hey, that these people that make games are bad people. Why are you giving their game a high rating? Mm-hmm. It's a strange world we live in where like everything is like connected, but it shouldn't be in this case for like professional purposes. I don't know.
Yeah,
that's weird.
It's what's funny too is that people bring their emotions into the review too much. A lot of people get angry at IGN because they give Call of Duty's high scores. But the reason they give Call of Duty high scores is they're good games. They're quality made. They run well.
They're quality
They look
games.
great. The multiplayer is generally, whether you like the multiplayer or not, it works and it's fun for the most part.
Now, here's a question. Do they, and I haven't seen these reviews in a very long time, do they take into account that it's very samey? So, for example, if you're going from Modern Warfare 2 to 3, very samey, do they rate 3
I'm sure they comment on it. I don't know if they rate it lower, though. Because Call of Duty has sort of become a sports game in a way, where you just reskin it and you add in some new features here and there, but generally it's the same game because people expect the same game every time. Because they're such hardcore players of Call of Duty, is that they want to have the same experience every time, but just have a new game.
They're playing. They're in the competitive audience.
Yeah.
Like the old Call of Duties weren't in the competitive audience because it just didn't find its niche.
Yeah. So you kind of had to review that Call of Duty. That its purpose is to be the same. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like Destiny, really.
Yeah,
it's like I don't know if you want to call it competitive, but it's like people are looting and they wanted to grind in these activities, now they want to grind in these activities. I
think IGN gave Destiny an 8.5, something like that.
That's fair. I'd say that's fair.
And that was from their Destiny lover, Destin Legary.
I'd say that's fair. Anything above 8 is like fair for
8 is a good game. A 7 is a good game.
See, what I actually used to like, and I think I mentioned this on the show before, is I kind of grew up watching reviews on the Run on G4 Tech TV, and like this was back when Tommy Tallarico was on the show, and the thing I used to do is I noticed like a couple of times they'd review, like I just kind of watch it all the time, and I remember the first few times they reviewed a game that was in like my collection already, they would be like, oh, 4 out of 10 or something. And I'm like, I like that game though, but what I liked about that show was they had a pro and cons section. So they would like literally say like, oh, here's the pros and cons, and then here's our score. I don't know if they did the score first or the pros and cons last. I don't remember which order, but they would like do the pros and cons. And then I was like, well, that's actually pretty cool because what I can do is like, if they're like, hey, I don't like the voice activation system and they put that as a con, well, I'd like that. So that would be my pro. So that would add on score for me. Yeah. So like, it lets me make a decision. Like, sure, I can go in there and like generally, like if I generally like Tommy Tallarico games that he rates high, I can use his score. But generally speaking, I would just look at the pro and cons and be like, oh, that's not a con for me.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I almost think maybe that would be interesting for like even one of our reviews. But I think just talking about it, I think is enough.
Funny thing is, I don't read reviews. I'll look at the score, like when the review comes out, but I don't read reviews really, not too often at least, until after I've played the game or watched the movie or watched the show. Because I'm more interested in just seeing someone else's opinion on it rather than using their opinion into like affecting my purchase habits. If there's something that I see that I like, I'm gonna buy it regardless.
Yeah.
You know, but I do enjoy hearing what other people think, and I've actually changed my mind on certain things based off reading other people's reviews, where they brought up something that like slipped my mind, or you know, so I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that process, but I don't want that process to happen before for some reason.
Well, that's one of the things. That's one of the things I guess is like. I used to do that. Like I used to buy something and then like go check the review. But what would happen was I'd be like, oh, that was like, mediocre or whatever, but I still liked it.
Mm-hmm.
And then like I'll go read the review and then like maybe the review gave it like a 4 out of like 10.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll like read the shit on it and I'll be like, oh, no, I actually don't like this. Because like I haven't thought about how stupid this one part is or whatever. Yeah. And then like that kind of ruins it for me. So like I kind of got to the point now where I'll watch it before or not at all. If I'm I'm decided on COD World War II, I'm not going to watch a review. I don't care.
Right. What was I gonna say? I had something. Oh, how much do you think reviews actually affect sales? Now, I feel like publishers feel like this affects sales a lot because the Mass Effect Andromeda, which was criticized a lot by the users, or the players, the review didn't come out until the launch day.
Yeah.
So clearly, BioWare knew the game wasn't as good as they might have hoped. And so they pushed back that review date to the launch date, hoping they can get as many sales as possible on launch day, right? And recover their costs. So they clearly think that reviews affect sales that much.
I think reviews do affect sales quite a bit.
That's incredible.
Well, because like for one, it's probably affecting I'd say it's definitely affecting the younger audience. Watching a review is free and they don't have much money. Mm-hmm. So it's like, maybe they're going to choose between Shadow of War or Destiny 2.
Right.
And if Destiny 2 is, let's just hypothetically say it's scoring in the 4s out of 10. Mm-hmm. And then, like, Shadow of War, let's say it gets like 9 out of 10. They're going to be like, oh, well, I'll get that first or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, it's definitely affecting that. And I mean, adults too, right? They don't want to be spending hundreds of dollars or like spending like a lot of their time on something that isn't great.
What sucks is you couldn't have an accurate test of where, like, let's just use Andromeda for example.
Right.
You can't have an accurate test where it's almost like we need a time machine where you could you let reviews come out a week before, or however long, and then you see how many sales you get, and then we roll back the time machine, and then have the reviews come out launch day, and then roll the same.
You could almost test it with GTA, although the loyal fan base might just buy it even if there is a bad review. Like you could like I don't know, like I mean you would have to then fake a bad review for it. Mm-hmm. But you could have bad reviews come out a week before, and then like generally like just trying to see what the sales are like in comparison to. But 5.
Like I want like a comparison on the same exact title with the same exact audience.
Oh, I see.
Which is impossible, right?
Yeah. I mean,
you would have to do a trend and like average it and see whether games do better or make more money when reviews are when negative reviews come out either on launch day or earlier.
Well, a good thing is a good like perspective, I guess. Is I just recently bought a phone, bought the S8 Plus, and I waited, like I was like waiting for sales, and I was like still humming and hawing about getting a new phone, and then I was just like, okay, I'm gonna get a new phone this month. I think it was in September or late August. I decided, but then like I started seeing the Note 8 stuff come out, and I was like, oh well, maybe I'll just get the Note 8. I'm like, I don't know, right? And then I like waited and waited. Note 8 was like about to launch. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna start looking at reviews of the S8, S8 Plus, and the Note 8. Because I'd kind of decided I wanted to jump on Samsung, and like I saw a couple of reviewers that were just like, well, if you want this, this, and this, you might as well just go with the S8 Plus. And I was like, yeah, I'm like for $200, like or whatever it is in Canada more. I was like, there's no point in me spending extra when like I'm really not going to use the S Pen or whatever. Mm-hmm. And like dual cameras is cool, but like it's not like I'm going to have bad pictures with one.
Yeah. I also wonder how much people use the S Pen who have the Note.
I think that it's definitely a novelty, but I think that there's probably a small, very dedicated
Just enough
basis.
to warrant keeping it.
There's
'Cause how many Notes have there been? Quite a bit, actually, right? It's been on for a while, right?
Well, was the Note 7 literally the 7th?
I think it's just in trend with the S. All right.
Wait, no. Wait, it went Note 2, Note 3, right? I don't know if it went 3. There was definitely a 4. So I'm going to assume. I'm going to assume at this moment that it went 1, 2, 3, 4,
Well, I mean, we can always look it up.
7, and then 8. That's my assumption for that.
You mean Explodey and then 8.
Well, 7. Like, I mean, 7 got recalled. So whether you want to count that one, because it's not really in market much anymore.
It was a version though.
No, yeah, like I would consider it, but I don't know whether, because you can't really buy it.
Samsung Galaxy.
Man, that was a mess.
Note.
Holy God.
I don't want Note 7. I just want Note.
You see, like, even people are still looking up the freaking Note 7. People are going crazy.
Kaboom! Samsung Galaxy Note series models. Galaxy Note, Galaxy Note 2, Galaxy Note 3, Galaxy Note 3 Neo, Galaxy Note 4, Galaxy Note Edge, Galaxy Note 5, then Galaxy Note 7.
Now, are these all, were some of them, like, released together? Was, like, that Neo, like...
The Note 5,
I didn't even know there was a Note 5. Holy crap.
wasn't it the Note Edge and the Note 5 were the same generation, right?
Well, I know there was a 7 and 7 Edge, I think. Like an S7 and an S7
But anyway,
Edge.
so it goes Galaxy Note 5 and then Galaxy Note 7. So they just skipped over 6.
Yeah.
I mean, Apple skipped over 9.
There you go.
So did Windows.
Yeah.
People
What the heck's
they don't
going on
like
here?
9 in the tech industry. I guess.
Jesus.
I'm actually really curious to see what Apple's going to do next year, though. Is it going to be iPhone 9 and iPhone 12 or 11? Sorry, you know what I mean?
I hope it's just, and I hated this name before, but I hope it's just iPhone.
Well, what I'm going to guess is they're going to go iPhone 9, iPhone 11. Then the year after that, they get rid of the iPhone 9 and just carry on forward with the iPhone 12 at that point.
I think that they should literally just have the year. It should literally, like, on the box, it should be like in, like, you know, the title font, iPhone, and then, like, underneath it just says, like, 2017.
Yeah.
That would be the wisest decision, I think, because that's what their iPad are kind of like. But then the iPad Mini has 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, they're on the iPad Mini 4
Like,
and
what the hell's happening?
iPad Air 2. So it went iPad, iPad 2, iPad,
Yeah.
new iPad,
Yeah.
iPad Air, iPad Air 2.
Well, I have a feeling that they were trying to do, like, the light electronics thing with the Air.
You know what I kind of want from Apple is to change the MacBook name.
You don't want it to be MacBook anymore?
No.
Really?
Because they used to have the PowerBook and the iBook. The
Yeah.
iBook was essentially the MacBook. PowerBook was essentially MacBook Pro.
Okay.
Right? Those went forever. And then they came up with the MacBook lines. I think the MacBook line is now time to have a name change on those.
See, the thing
It's been years, man.
No, but like the thing is though, is it's more or less just ingrained in everyone now.
But why does that happen? Why wasn't iBook ingrained?
Not as big.
And then
not
they
as big
couldn't
in
get rid of
social
it.
media. Like social media, like things are thrown in your face constantly, all the time. Or you know, this MacBook came out, or this iPod came out, this whatever.
Apple's gotten rid of the i, though.
No, but there you go.
The i was an iconic thing for Apple.
That's an testament to that, though. Is the iPod is like basically like an internet bridging device. You know, it started when the internet wasn't massive, and then it continued on. It's still called the iPod. They never changed it to the Apple Music Player, or whatever.
And you know what? I bet you if they came up with a new like let's say the next iPhone is they drop the i and they call it the Apple phone.
Okay.
Right. I bet you everyone in the world is still going to call it the iPhone.
That's the thing.
And it will always be the iPhone.
It's ingrained in
people call the Apple Watch iWatch.
That's a weird one. I don't know about that one because like
Not once did they ever say iWatch
That's the
anywhere,
thing.
and they call it the iWatch. That's how ingrained the i was. But Apple's done with that.
super ingrained in that. Well, because that's why I don't call it that, right? Because like
Yeah.
I've been almost trained to say like, okay, yeah, they've dropped the i, and I'm like used to that enough. But I'll still call the iPod. Like even if they release a new music player, I'll call that thing the iPod probably.
I forget what apps they still got going here. iTunes, obviously.
iTunes for sure.
Um,
They have Apple Music. which obviously is an I. They have like GarageBand or something.
No, that's literally the last desktop app that has I in it, I think, is iTunes. And again, that's one of those names that is so iconic for Apple, you know.
And it matches with iPod, so it kind of makes sense.
Although they could probably just drop it and call it Apple Music, which I'm surprised they haven't done yet.
That's what I thought. I think I was talking to you a couple nights ago about this. I thought they actually had done that.
Yeah, but people want a separate Apple Music app on the computer. So
That's fair.
So you can distinguish what's purchased music and what's your streamed music.
Yeah, that's fair because people have been managing their libraries in that app for years. You know, you don't want to mess around with that because like once you arrange your music, you arrange your music.
So that's literally all the iProducts, iPhone, and I guess they still call it iMessage too. So iPhone, iMessage, and iTunes.
There you go.
Even though I think it just says messages on the actual phone.
But people call it iMessage, so
they gotta get 3 eyes. They got 3 eyes left. They need to kill off.
No, those ones will probably stick around. You gotta have a little
iOS. No,
you gotta have a little attachment to the past. Well, it's the iPhone as well.
They'll get rid of them. They'll do it.
Maybe, but I don't know.
It's just gonna say phone on the back of your phone.
Yeah, that's weird. Like that's weird.
Anyway, do we have any more stories, or is that it?
Well, we got the that Division story.
Hang on. What? Did we talk about that?
No.
I thought you talked about that.
We bitched about me potentially talking about it.
Let me just get the last story out of the way. Then Pokemon Go Equinox event has started September 22nd at 1 p.m. and it runs until October 2nd. So get out there, catch some Pokemon. You're getting some good Pokemon out of 2K eggs. So that's pretty good because usually you just get like Pidgeys and crap.
I mean, you can get some Gen 1s in there, which is pretty good, but Gen 1 starters.
So during this time, you can get double Stardust for catching Pokemon and hatching eggs. You get super incubators from the in-game shop. You get triple XP for registering new Pokemon in your Pokedex and more.
Holy God.
So get out there, trainers, and catch some Pokemon.
With this event, I'm probably going to be level 30. Fantastic.
It's nuts. I'm so far behind.
Well, I went ham during the event. Yeah. And actually, as a little tidbit in there, I'm pretty sure the dogs are changing soon. Changing region.
Oh. Okay.
So Raikou, I think, is in our region right now in Canada, and I think it's all in North America. I'm not sure on that, so double check your area, but they'll be switching.
Check your local listings.
Yeah, check your local listings for the next legendary dog that's coming to your area.
All right, Matt, tell us about the Division update.
All right, so you got a Division update 1.8 coming up here, and bringing quite a bit of good stuff here. We got a new map area, new PvP map expansion called the West Side Piers, and that introduces a new mechanic, I guess, where enemy factions will be working together for the first time. And it has a new dynamic spawn system with various combination of enemies that go to agents directly. So kind of like a horde mode. Now I'm reading this off. I'm reading and paraphrasing this off the official Division website, so you can always read through these notes yourself. And there's also side missions that will offer specific objectives for agents to complete in the zone, while assignments deliver timed challenges within limited windows. There's also a new social hub in there for restocking, recalibrating, and vendor purchasing needs. Camp Clinton. So
where is Camp Clinton?
In the West Side Piers.
Isn't that where you first reach Manhattan?
Nope, that is Camp Hudson.
The useless area. Which looks like
that's that useless area.
Which looks like it was meant to be something.
And it was massive, and like everyone was there for a bit, and then everyone was like, "Oh, there's nothing here." So everyone just kind of like.
It looks like there's vendors there. It looks like they set it up to be like a social area.
This is actually
that might have been left over from the original game when you're supposed to start in Brooklyn, is it?
Brooklyn, yeah.
You're supposed to start in Brooklyn, and maybe you were supposed to stay there for a while and do some missions until you make it to.
You kind of did. You did like one or two missions, came back there a couple times, and then that was it.
Weird. That's what bothers me about MMOs is these deserted areas,
and they're massive.
They feel so lonely.
You go in there and it's like, holy Christ, this could be used.
It's depressing. Yeah,
just gone. Skirmish. Skirmish is the new PvP mode, 4v4. What?
I just thought about something great.
About Skirmish?
No. So a big problem with video games is the world still feels dead, right?
Okay.
So you go into the Division, you get those people walking around and like coughing and like they'll be like looking through things, but you see those same people every single time, and they look identical, and you know it's a computer.
You know, there's a guy who's going to be hacking up a lung there every time. Yeah.
If the whole world is right now going into this AI mode, do you know what I mean? They could literally program mini AIs for each individual character, so they perform unique tasks every single time you
Basically,
encounter one.
drive avatars, but player avatars.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
And then it will feel like every person, you can have a conversation with them depending on how much AI they want to put into this thing. It could be like a chat bot almost. Do you know what I mean?
You know what? Okay, just putting down these 1.8 notes for a second here. I don't know whether I was talking to you about this, but what I said would be interesting, if not morally questionable.
Okay.
Because I'm messing around with chatbots. I think they're interesting because twice this week I was fooled by a chatbot. I thought that was a person I was talking to.
Right.
And then like it starts talking about something wrong, and I'm like, what's this person talking about? And then it just like goes off on this tangent, and I'm like, holy fuck, this is a bot. That's just weird. Anyway.
Well, what's that called? Isn't that the Turing test? Am I getting that right?
Yes, I think. Like where I literally confused it with a human.
Where if you're talking to an AI and you can't distinguish whether it's an AI or a human being, it's past the Turing test.
It really bothers me. And it passed for a bit, and then like.
But it still failed.
It still failed because I was like,
it's not perfect AI
what's
yet.
this person talking about?
Yeah, but it's getting close.
But anyway, what I was thinking is like we got all these social medias and all this crap. Revive lost loved ones.
Oh yeah, that's
by bringing their AI back to life. And I don't know what the moral status is on this. Probably not great, but it would be interesting to see if people would like it or if it's even good. I don't know.
I don't think a lot of people would like this because then it takes away what you perceive as your uniqueness. It's almost like you can be.
It is your uniqueness. The algorithm goes into your Instagram, your Twitter, your
no. But what I'm saying
Facebook,
is
your messages, your phone, everything, and it generates you a thing. And what's really scary is I wanted it to message you, like it'll be like, "Hey, how's it going today?"
And I wouldn't know it's not you.
So yeah, like let's say I died, it goes in and it takes all my crap, including my message history, takes my digital footprint, generates me as an entity, and then like talks to you. And like uses my Google Photos and crap, and like I could like share pictures to you. That's scary.
You'd run out of new content though, because you're not actually physically out there doing new things.
Yes, but the chat would be infinite because it would be like my brain or close to it. That's scary, and it would look up things. It would look thing. No, it actually wouldn't run out of content because you and I send links back and forth to each other all the time.
Yeah.
So it would know
what articles
I'm interested in.
what
It
you're
would go
interested
and
in.
find those links and be like, "Hey Ryan, what do you think about this?"
Yeah.
That's
See, but what I'm saying
interesting
is
and terrifying.
what I'm
at the
saying
same
the
time.
problem with it is though, like the moral part is, what purpose are you if we can just replicate you?
The purpose is
Your
to
value-
create that AI.
Your value has now gone down. So if you die, it's almost like why are you living in the first place? If I can just have an infinite Matt bot, why do I need you? Do you know what I mean?
It's a good question.
That's the problem. I think,
It requires research.
and that's one of the issues with cloning, where it's like illegal to clone humans. I don't know if it's actually illegal to clone humans, but
It's a good question.
you know what I mean? And what rights do these AI have? If they're an identical you, do they have the same rights that a human you has? It'd be a huge thing, and they'd be discussing it for forever.
Oh,
And then what happens if someone comes in and like kills your digital you?
is that murder?
Yeah.
That's interesting, right?
I would say no at this current point.
I think
As far as the law is concerned, that AI has no rights.
my nerd part says that I'm interested, but I'm kind of scared too.
Yeah.
I'm pretty scared.
Yeah. Anyway, continue.
Back to a real quick division thing before we do a query corner here. Skirmish, which is the 4v4 PvP mode, is coming in, and they'll be consolidating the last stand ranking. It'll combine with the skirmish mode, and it'll be at an increased rank cap of 99. There's also the Resistance, which is a new endgame PvE content. It's a wave spawner similar to the one in Westside Piers, which will be used for the activity. Allied units of enemy factions will spawn dynamically and attack in waves as agents venture further into Resistance. Critical objectives are urgent challenges that will affect the success of every Resistance run, and agents will need to prioritize these COs, as failure to complete these challenges will result in an entire team wipe. And wildcards will keep agents active as modifiers change the way the waves are played. So that's pretty exciting. I didn't know how else to explain it, so I just read that paragraph right off of the site there. And Rogue 2.0 is coming out. So apparently being Rogue is more voluntary now.
That's weird.
I'll let you guys explore that feature, though, and then as well as...
What's weird about that is, like, if you want to be Rogue, just shoot someone. Why do you have to turn it on?
Well, it says here that update one, it's refining the Dark Zone mechanics and it's preserving infamous high risk, high reward environment. So going rogue will now be a voluntary action and will prevent accidental rogue. If a member of a squad goes rogue, all players in the squad have the choice to accept or decline. So to me, it sounds like if I shoot, like if you're not in my squad, I shoot you. Let's say Adriano's in my squad. Adriano can decide not to go rogue, but because I shot you, I will go rogue.
Okay, so it's not saying I can turn on rogue whenever I want. It's saying other members of your party will not be rogue because
that has happened several times. It's like an accident.
You can literally go rogue in your party though.
Yes.
Like if you just want to go nuts one day and just shoot everyone.
You have to leave the squad though.
What do you mean? Like, yeah, that makes sense. And then we could kill you.
It tells you that you're doing it.
But then we could kill you if we don't decide to go rogue with you.
That's correct.
I like that.
And then there's new gear stuff going on. So there's you can get D-Tech from the DZ as well as from Westside Pier enemies, and it can maximize the statistics on every piece of gear available. And the new World Tier 5 range encompasses 256 to 286 item level, and a fully optimized set of classified gear will push players over the 286 mark. And a new consolidated gear score number will be assigned to every piece of gear in the division, and this number combines every stat roll to provide a numerical indication of gear power to help you tweak your builds. And it will appear, and it says that we can expect PTS for 1.8. And I'm in the PTS, so I will be joining into that. Pretty excited, as you could probably hear.
All right, let's hop into our Query Corner.
Query Corner question
of the week.
More like a philosophical corner, though. Don't you shake your head at me.
So this one is kind of similar to both Destiny and The Division. It involves endgame content. What should there be in an MMO? Even quasi ones like Division and Destiny? And what would you like to see in a MMO endgame?
So what kind of sparked this for me was, the question was, like I'm playing Destiny, and like I said, I'm having fun. But right now, I basically have, let's assume I don't want to play PvP, because I always kind of compartmentalize PvP in my head. So PvE is my main thing. So basically I have strikes, which I don't know how many there are. There's strikes. There's your nightfalls, which are basically just harder strikes, right? So basically the same thing. There is the caches on the planets, and there's those lost sector caches, I think, as well. And then there's like just the random like public events and stuff that are like repeat. And then there's like quests and that sort of thing. But more or less, when I'm wandering on a planet, it's like, go here, press square, go here, kill these guys, more or less, or go here, find this thing.
Yeah.
So my question is like, what do we need in an end game? Because I'm starting to worry that maybe there's not that much gear in the division. I get a lot of doubles, although I am discovering new things like in Legendary, like all the crypto Legendary engram. And it's not a total freak occurrence when it's a new piece of gear, like something I've never seen. But in the same breath, I am getting, I have had 2 or 3 pairs of the same boots. Mm-hmm. So it's like, it's not, it feels like the Division specific, or the Destiny 2, sorry, it specifically is not so much gear and loot based as like something like Diablo 2 is, or something, or Diablo 3, or any of the Diablos really. So it's like how much content do I need before it's just like, okay, this is just me doing, running up this path and killing this dude for the 100th time to try to get the best of this type of boot.
And there has to be physically a best loadout possible, right?
Yeah, there's a ceiling, I'd say, until like a DLC or something comes out.
I mean, obviously it depends on what you like and how you play, but there's physically has to be a best loadout, right?
I'd say there's a ceiling for every type of game play style, right?
So once you get that, then you just kind of walk around, or what?
See, that's my thing, is like, it's very interesting. Like the story this time, whether you consider it to be lackluster in the writing department, it still pushed you ahead. Mm-hmm. Go get this guy, go kill this guy, because it's going to take down his like armaments. Go do this, do this. So it kind of tells you what to do. The adventures are definitely a step in the right direction, but it's like during the free roam. But it's like, oh, go here and make sure we scan this area. Go there, you hold square. Your guy scans it, and then maybe they'll be like, oh no, the Fallen are coming. So you kill the Fallen. It's like, okay, I got the scan now.
Yeah.
Like it's not super engaging. The quests are definitely better. The quests are more engaging for sure. But I don't know. How many activities do you need to keep an end game good? I don't know.
See, I don't like running activities like endlessly.
Yeah.
You know, because they do get dull after a certain point because you play them a million times. But what I would like to see is, and I'm going to be careful with my words here for spoilers, but I want if I complete like a certain mission or whatever, and let's say I get resources from it, I want to see the farm get built up. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, like you want to see, like if I go and like, I don't know, go get more wood for the farm, and the farm starts building up because I got
They start
more
putting
supplies.
new walls on the barns and stuff.
Yeah,
And if I liberate some ships, I want to see those then back at the farm. You know,
you
getting
want to
worked
see like
on.
a spaceport being built, or
I want to
whatever.
feel like I'm making something better and not just myself with new gear.
It's really strange that in an MMO it like that goes by the wayside.
Yeah.
It's very much like just run this activity, do this activity.
This is again with the world feeling dead, you know,
Yeah.
because it stops changing after a while. And you realize, oh, this is the same thing. There's that same person. There's all the same ships. This person's still freaking welding those robots, you know?
This is kind of why I prefer the Division. I mean, I have all the DLC. I have all the DLC.
Division's a perfect example because when you're building up your base at the beginning of the game,
building.
It's changing. Every time you go back to base after doing a mission, you see something that's changed. A new wing's been opened up. They've added new stuff. There's like refugees in there who are being like helped by doctors and stuff. I thought that was going to be the entire game, and I was really excited. But it's really just the introduction. You know?
Yeah, that is like the base of operations is more or less kind of spoiler alert, I guess. The base of operations is more or less like the single player part where it's like, you know, go get these supplies, go do this, go do that.
Yeah.
And the encounters are more or less like the patrols on Destiny, where it's like, you know, go do this, you know, go kill these guys, go, you know, hold square on this thing, or go hold circle or whatever. Like it's like with the Division, like if we kind of break it down, in the Division you have with DLC you have your survival, your underground, your last stand, you have your dark zone, and then like I mean you have your encounters and stuff, but I'm not really going to count those. And then you have your HVTs. So, I mean, I might be missing something, so I apologize if I am. But, like, approximately 5 end-game activities. And there's, you know, some variation in there. I think there's global events in there now. I haven't done one yet, but there's, like, global events. You know, it's like whatever. Give or take 5 totally different types of activities with some variation within them.
Mm-hmm.
So, with Destiny, you have your strikes. You have your Nightfall, which is more or less the same thing. You have your raid. And then you have, like... If you really want to count it, you have like your patrols, your quests, your adventures, and then I guess collectibles, which I'm going to include the chests and the caches as well.
Mm-hmm.
So like 7, but it's like again, it's one of those things where it's like I'm still. I don't know if it's more of a complaint or what it is, but it's like I'm still grinding. Like I'm still just like how many times have I done the same or gone up and down the same roads in the Dark Zone? It's so bizarre to me that a game is designed so that it's like, whoa, okay, we better, you know, get some gear, you know, into the player's hands because they're going to be doing the Dark Zone for, you know, 40 hours or something. And it's like for the average player, especially got people who mostly play like story content, it's like, are they really like those type of players? Are they really going to go up and down the Dark Zone for like 40 hours?
Mm-hmm.
Like Aaron's a perfect example of that. He quit the game because there wasn't like it's just like, oh, the end game is like, you know, run around. I mean, there's been patches and stuff, but at the time it was like, you know, you run around the Dark Zone.
Yeah.
You do like missions on hard, you do your dailies, which are the same missions, and that's it.
What's nice about console games though is that they have the benefit of having quicker DLC. I feel like MMOs on PC, the DLC is very rare, and it's usually a bigger event.
Oh, like a
bigger,
WoW expansion's pretty big.
Yeah, stuff. But like we'll probably be getting DLC soon not soon, but within a couple months for Destiny 2. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's something like you can do like we can play endgame content until that DLC comes out, and then they'll obviously raise the level cap or whatever, and add new gear, and that's stuff to go hunt again. It makes it feel a little fresher. Plus, you get story content again and new missions. Right?
I'm trying to determine like what empowers us to do it. Like on paper, I would be like, why the hell am I doing this mission like 30 times?
Right.
But then I just go do it like in real life.
Because there is that sense of building your own character up.
Yeah.
You know, but this is the main point though. It's like you need purpose.
Yeah, like I'm trying to get a nice helmet and then try to get enough of that one shader that's pretty rare that I want. But then it's like once I have that, it's like, okay.
Yeah.
And then a couple of our buddies were playing it and they were like super into it. Like they were already level 20 the first night and everything else. And like, I saw them on something else. Like they were huge fans of Destiny, and I saw them like playing a different game the other night, and I was like, well, they probably are. They're like, I assume they're already burnt out. And like, you know, I haven't been playing Destiny 2 every day, but if I was, I think I'd be burnt out.
Yeah.
Like, and I mean, I guess I can have it anything, but like if it was like a huge freaking experience, like a Fallout, I'd be like, but I haven't been to that shed yet. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas this game, it's like, but I've only been to that shed 30 times.
Yeah, Fallout, you can literally walk into a city and then find some new stuff.
Every time.
Yeah.
Or if it's like, oh, I haven't been to this corner very much, you go in there and like find some brand new crap.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, there's obviously an end. You know, there's like, you know, I've done everything, but
it was kind of crappy when like Skyrim came out and they said like you could play this game like for the rest of your life, but it was literally just like a couple missions like just remained. Do you know what I mean?
Well, Skyrim was weird. Skyrim had like this really strange, and I remember reading about this a long time ago. They had like, you know, like when you have to do like the favors.
Yeah.
For like, oh, you know, you go to this town, you talk to the Jarl, I guess, and then you like go to the favors.
Yeah.
The favors are like kind of dynamic. Like some of them are always available, but it's like, oh, you didn't help this person, so like this person doesn't have a favor. Like you didn't do this quest, so this person doesn't have a favor for you. So there's kind of like some small intricacies in the back end from what I remember. And I remember this, I read this like 6 years ago, but like you're right, like it's very. I found that game very bland. I'll be honest with you. Go into this dungeon and go kill this person. Okay. All right, you did it. Okay.
What I'm saying is those repeating quests that were supposed to like keep you playing the game after you finish the story were literally just, you know, go clear out this dungeon that we repopulated. You've been there already, but there's new guys in there. Go play that, and that was supposed to be fun, you know.
It's a good point.
It was weird. I don't know why they said you could play the game forever. It was weird. I guess they didn't say forever. They said like 300 hours, and like there was like they said there was like constant quests, which is true.
There are radiant.
It's kind of a half truth though. Yeah.
Like go kill this person. Oh no, do this. I mean, that kind of started getting introduced in Oblivion, where it was like, I mean, spoiler, I guess. You become the listener of the Dark Brotherhood, and then like they give you like quests where you like slowly start recruiting people, but then like, you know, the people that you're recruiting are scripted, and then like once you've recruited, you know, the 3 or 4 or whatever it was, you can keep doing those quests, but you're not actually recruiting for your own like get together or whatever your own base, not the get together. That's weird. A Dark Brotherhood get together.
Whoo! I killed them.
The Dark Brotherhood?
Oh yeah.
No, you son of a bitch.
Just destroyed their little enclave.
There
was one like I think non-killable NPC left.
You killed them.
I wiped them out.
Holy Christ.
I didn't even complete their quest. I'm not doing anything for you guys.
You're just like pure like
yeah.
Good, eh?
Yeah. Wiped them out. Anyway, that's it for this week. If you like the podcast, you can subscribe to us on iTunes and Google Play Music. We're also on YouTube, and you can subscribe there. There's other videos and reviews. And we'll see you guys next time.
Peace!